So now the next step in loading the data into our data warehouse is to get the data that is responsible for going into this batch table. Okay. Now, previously, if we look into our accounting database, there is nothing in these tables anywhere, sorry for my mouse, that basically indicate the batch data. All right. So, and the reason for that is because the data for that batch table here, for this table here, basically exists in a comma-separated value format in a flat file. So we're going to this time load from a flat file into our data warehouse. So one way of getting to that flat file, I don't want to show this to you. Let's go ahead and let's start File Explorer. And we should already be able to go to our location, our appstate.edu location. Of course, this is my file, but one of the things here that you should have in your instance, of course you won't have everything, but what I have given you is what's in here is called a PTI batch data. So that's the Planet Toys batch data. And all it is a CSV file. We can see this right here. And it's called batch info. Now I'm going to go ahead and open this with, actually I'm just going to go open this with a notepad. Okay. And all this is we've got fields that say batch number, machine number, product code, time started, stopped, etc. Right. And it goes on for quite some time. In fact, it goes down all the way to the bottom, and we can see here from our notepad file that this is line 4,589. So you subtract one for the header column, so we have 4,588 batches that occurred. Okay, and this was actually manufacturing data that we want to load into that one batch table. And it's got the header, the batch number, machine number, product code, time start, all these things combined. All right. So in order to be able to make this work, let's go back to what we need to load. Now, if you recognize in that CSV file, let me pull it up, there are some metrics in here. So the last several items here, we have time started, time stopped, number produced, number rejected, right? Which is these values right here, okay, for that observation, right? Well, we don't need all of that because some of these are going to end up in our fact table when we're done, all right? So really, we need to go back to our data warehouse and realize that the only thing that we need is the batch number and the batch name. All of those other pieces of data will end up going here, all right? So just to kind of give you a preview of where we're going, in the dimensions, we're just keeping the core value or the core attributes of that dimension. The measures, however, will end up in the fact table, and because it's measuring an event. And that's what we've talked about with this type of design in our database, right, or our data warehouse, is that we create these star schemas, these snowflake schemas, so that way the fact table is measuring the event or recording the event, and the dimensions are just entities with attributes, and we're just putting those all together. So here's how we put that that batch table or load the data into that batch table. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to connect in another data flow task, and I will call that load batch. Okay, just to be nerdy, I'm going to try to line that up real cute. And let's go ahead and let's start with load batch. Now this time we're going to do things a little bit different. So these are the tools that we're going to use. So first of all, from a source, we're going to use a flat file destination. So that's in our other destinations. We're going to bring and drag that up. We're going to do a sort function, and this is to make sure that our data is lined up appropriately when we start to extract it. So a sort function is right here. And then after it's sorted, we're going to derive a column that will give us what information that we're looking for. And this is going to make sense as we kind of go through all of these little minor steps. And then our final destination is another OLEDB destination, which is, of course, our PTI data warehouse. Okay. Our flat file destination, I'm going to call that my batch CSV. And I'm going to go ahead and connect all these respectively. Oh. Why is it not letting me connect it? Oh, I created a batch should be a flat file source. There we go. Yeah, I grabbed a flat file destination, I believe, and I really needed to have a flat file source. So flat file source is going to be now called batch CSV. All right, little correction there. Let's go ahead and format these auto layout and make it real cute. All right, batch CSV. This is the fun one because now we have to actually create a new flat file connection manager. So I'm going to go ahead and select on new. Right, and I will call this a batch CSV connection, and the file that I want I'm going to browse for, and it should be in my basic accounts. Hold on. Here it is, PTI batch data. Now, also, if you notice that you may have to come down and look for CSV files particularly. So there it is in my batch data, batch info. I'm going to go ahead and open that up. And I'm going to look at the columns real quick just to make sure everything lines up. And you can see that I have the batch numbers, I have the machine numbers, I have the product code, time started, etc., etc. Okay. All right. And you can kind of scroll through this. And if you start to notice that sometimes we might actually have a batch of product, right? We have 3830 as a batch, and it runs on 3 different machines, right? But also we have, of those 3 different machines, we have 3 different types of products. And it could be that product 18, product 27, and product 58, when they're all combined, they make a final figurine, right? So that is something to consider. I'm going to do a preview here real quick. Preview is the same as the columns in this case, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. I'm going to select OK and then move on. All right, so in the sort function, what I want to do is I want to be able to sort some of our data. Really what I want to do is I want to sort the batch number, right? So I am going to sort the batch number, and I want it to ascend, and I want sort order by 1. So that's just to make sure everything is aligned. Now, if we're lucky, our data is already lined up. So we will not have to do any of this. However, there's one little trick with this. Where we have duplicate sort values, we're going to remove those. So down below, right here, we're going to use this little checkbox. And now that we've sorted it, now we're going to get rid of all of the batch numbers that are extras, that are duplicates. And so remember, we previewed the data, and it had multiple batches that matched, but we don't need them in this particular case. Because if you remember, all we really need, let's go back to our data warehouse, we just need the batch number and the batch name. So it doesn't matter if we got rid of those duplicates. Okay. All right, so now that we've gone through our sorting function, I'm going to stop here and get into the next video where we manage our derived column. All right, so yeah, so let's pause right here, and I'll see you in the next video.